Hey everyone, Brian from Barebowl Traders here. It's the weekend, May 7th, 8th. Hope everyone's having a good weekend. This, of course, is the weekend video where we'll take a look at what's gone on last week and what might be happening in the week ahead. And just a quick heads up here, I will not be posting any more videos for the coming 2 weeks. I'll be traveling and pretty much off the grid, so don't look for any videos from me until about the 21st. Okay, anyway, let's get down to it. So let's start out looking at last week, see what happened. Of course, we had a very volatile bunch of sessions, particularly towards the end of the week there. We had that Fed rally that happened right at the end of Wednesday, market just ripped, and a Thursday we sold right back off. And Friday, again, another sell-off day. And we pretty much ended up, flat for the Dow and the SPY. We down a little bit on the week. But the Q and the small cap index is, of course, taking the biggest hit, but certainly not as bad as the previous week. So down about 1.25%. So overall, market's all down. But for all intent and purposes, Dow and S&P, after all the up and down, we ended up pretty much flat. Energy, of course, was the big performer of the week. Continues to be strong. Real estate, consumer discretionaries, with inflation and everything, talked about that, continues to be a weak sector and probably will continue that way. 10-year note was up over 3.14%, so we did breach the 3% level. We're getting a little extended here. I would expect a bit of a pullback. The 2-year was pretty much unchanged, so this spread between the 2 and the 10 actually widened, which is, I guess, indicating that maybe we're not going to have a recession, but that's still up in the air. U.S. dollar strength continued, but we still look a little toppy. We did end up another 0.5% up on the week, but we are still looking pretty extended here. And again, there's that reminder popping up again, so I don't get a bunch of videos asking why people aren't getting the video updates. And before we get things going here by looking at some charts, just a quick ad for my book on Amazon, How to Swing Trade, Rules, Routines, and Strategies that I use as a swing trader. So there it is on Kindle. So let's get down and look at some charts. And as always, I like to start out looking at the treasuries, what the yields are doing. And you can see here pretty much flat on the week with the 2-year. Really didn't go anywhere at all, as I mentioned already. The 10-year, we did break out from that 10 level, or that through the 3% level, and you can see here we are getting up to an interesting level. Let's just take a look at the monthly here quickly. You can see here we were back at this back in 2018. We had that, it was a bit of a market meltdown once we got above this 3% here. So I'm thinking that, this 3.24, 3.23, this 3.2 level, we're anywhere around this area here. I think we're going to get a bit of a pullback. You can see the RSI is getting quite overbought on the monthly as well. So I think we might see a pause here on the increase in these in the 10-year yield. The transports, again, really choppy week, as you can see with the daily index here. The only thing you can say positive was Friday. We were well off the low of the day, and you can see a bit of an indecision candle there on the weekly. Again, not really making a move one way or another. Again, the Dow, all you can say here is we held this low, came back up again, and the downside is, of course, we finished lower on the day. The only upside you could say is that we finished well off the low of the day, and it's going to be pretty much like that for all the indexes. So you can kind of see here we're sort of sitting at this level on the Dow right now. On a weekly, we're really just sort of hanging on by our fingernails here. Volume's been pretty heavy. The Qs, again, probably one of the worst performers on the week with the IWM. You can see here we sold off, we sort of finished mid-range on Friday's range and trading, and the volume was pretty heavy. Again, we are pretty oversold, but that doesn't mean we can't go lower on the Qs. Of course, the Qs and the IWM really taking the beating on this interest rate and inflation scare. So we are sitting in some pretty important levels here. You can see here 300-ish is an area that the Q should defend. Otherwise, we're probably going to go lower. The SPY, again, just sort of finished mid-range, well off the low of the day, which was, again, sort of the silver lining around the cloud. Again, it was kind of a bit of a indecision week for the SPY, and on a weekly. And the IWM, you can see here again, just sort of not as good a looking chart for sure. You can see here the IWM again making a new low and finishing pretty close to the low of the week, which is not particularly constructive. And you've got this 200-day at the 172 level that we might be coming down to on the IWM. You can see here the VIX. Actually, this was quite interesting. You can see here we a lot of chop during the week, but again, Friday we really sold off here on the VIX. So not a lot of people going into options market to protect themselves. I think it was probably the fact that the SPY came and the Dow came well off the lows of the day, and that reflected in the VIX as well. So the fear just didn't materialize. Here's the dollar. Again, we're just sort of sitting right near highs here. This could be a topping pattern. Bitcoin is just taking an absolute beating here, and it's down a lot more on the weekend by the looks of it. Again, we're right into an area, sort of this low here of 34,100. The low here on this one, 33,000 roughly. So we're getting into that range there where we might be expecting a bit of a bounce. But again, this is just trading as a risk asset now, as I've already talked about. I don't have a lot on watch this week, just because I'm going to be going away. I won't be able to monitor my positions. I'm really going to be really off the grid, as they say. So I won't have any internet connection for a number of days. So I do like the way Apple continues to hold on here. Kind of looks interesting. CCJ held the 200-day moving average. Again, energy has been really good, and this uranium has not performed very well, so I'm kind of holding off. FCX, copper, I think the concern about copper is it's a recovery or a economic activity play, and I think if people think we're going into a recession, this is probably why it keeps selling off here. Silver and gold are just, silver is just down in the dumps here. I might be putting in a double bottom. This sort of 2050 level might be interesting. Tesla I think is probably going to go lower here. Again, I don't, but I won't be taking any positions while I'm away and won't be able to monitor them. Twitter just sort of really just narrowing into a pennant there, and I guess waiting for some news on some further funding, which will break it one way or another. So that's it, everybody. Okay, so let's wrap things up here. Quick summary, what to watch next week. We've got the Dow here, 32,900 roughly. Next support, another 300 points lower. We are getting again into some areas where there's some levels of support. We've lost a few of them, but as we keep going down, we keep encountering next levels. So I already talked about the Qs. We're at 309 now. Next support could be 300. Again, the SPY, we're at 411. This is an area where we could end up finding some support on the SPY. 183 on the IWM. We've certainly lost some levels there. And this 172 level at the 200-day SMA is an area to watch as well. So economic events coming up. We do have CPI numbers on Wednesday AM. This will be, again, good read on inflation and whether people will be concerned. And of course, that's what's been preying on everyone's mind, investors and traders. So that CPI number should be fairly important. I won't be around for it, but it'll be interesting to see how that comes out. Earnings this coming week. We've got some stuff coming up here. PLTR, obviously, has been a Kathy Wood play. Tyson Foods plug before the market open on Monday, so some good market action maybe Monday morning. AMC, not to be confused with after market close. And Suncor closing out the day on Monday. And Piton, your stay-at-home trade, which hasn't been doing so well since everyone's been going back outside again. Coin, Oxy, SoFi, I should say, EA, and Roblox. So a couple of interesting stocks there on Tuesday after the market close. Wendy's we got on for the market open, Disney, CRISPR, and Beyond the meet after the market close on Wednesday. So lots of interesting companies reporting at the end of through the first part of this week here. So that's it, everyone. Have a great week, rest of the weekend. Again, join us 8 o'clock a.m. With the pre-market show live on YouTube, and then of course we go into the Trading the Market Open at 9:30. And I will be in the room on Monday, but then leaving from there. So again, have a great rest of the weekend, and we shall hopefully see you Monday morning. Bye for now.